and join using this code right here, but would like for you to take a second and respond to this question. So think about where you would rather be. So option A is to look back in 2 years and think, if only I'd put in full effort into my master's degree. Or option B, tackle your first semester in the program with a what if I put full effort into this master's degree type of mindset. So just to kind of get you exposed to some of this interactive slide, if you could just take a moment and respond. Right. We got 3 responses. Yay! That's the response we're looking for, right? But I want you to be honest with yourself and really kind of think through the actual option there. What if I put effort into this program from the get-go, and perhaps that means I've got to make some sacrifices? What will that look like in 2 years versus if looking back and thinking if only? So I have another question for you. I want you to think about, why did you enroll in FSU Coach? So this should be a free response. Same slides. Let's see what you got. Why did you enroll in FSU Coach? To become the best coach for the youth. Love that. The youth level is one of those areas that is high need. To expand my knowledge as a coach and grow. Good. Growth mindset. You want to learn. Give it another maybe 30 seconds to see if somebody else will come through. And even if you want to pursue your master's degree in the sport industry, you want to expand your knowledge. You're a sport agent. Nice. Okay. Progress, continued education. Love that. Prepare for what's next. Mentor. Excellent. So when I see responses like this, I see people that want to learn. You want to make what you're doing better, whether that's yourself, you want to help the people you're working with, and you want to make just the coaching profession as a whole better and stronger. And so that's important. And I think these responses right here are ones that you're going to want to remember. This is your why. This is why you're doing this, because over the next 2 years, things may get tough for you. And so I want you to have thought through your why. So if you need to jot down your response here, I would love for you to do that so you can have something to pull back up. And these slides will be available to you after this in the orientation module, which we'll talk about here in a second. So you can always add responses then. So let's get started. So as we go along, like I said, not sure why it did that. I didn't enter my PowerPoint. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Doing the integration with Mentimeter with the PowerPoint can get a little tricky sometimes. Let me try that again. Understand. There we go. Okay. So here's the plan. Dr. Baghurst and I are going to introduce ourselves a little bit. We're going to do an overview of FSU Coach and then important information that you need to know moving forward. And then what are the next steps that you need to take right now before classes started and as classes get started. So like I mentioned before, if you want to join these slides, this is how you do that. There is an FSU Coach Padlet, which if we have time at the end, I'll pull that up and kind of show you where everybody is coming from in our program. And that also gives us a way to get a good look at our students from all of you all that have come through the program. And we just started this last year, so there's not a ton of responses. And I use Padlet a lot, so it'll get you exposed to how to engage with that. So do take some time. So I'm going to toss it over to Dr. Baghurst.
All right. Well, thank you. Most of you, I think, I've probably interacted with in some way as you applied for the program. So it's nice to meet some of you by face. I know most of you we can't see at the moment, but I'm the director of the center and therefore kind of oversee all of the programming that goes on. But Dr. Megan is really your go-to person for questions about the masters and advising, et cetera. My background is in a lot of different disciplines inside sports and came to FSU to start FSU Coach 5 years ago. Played a lot of sports, still play a lot of sports, still coach a lot of sports. Enjoy commentating for professional racquetball, and try to put out a lot of coaching information, leadership information through Twitter, X as it's called now. So you can find me there. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Just try to provide additional knowledge beyond just the classroom. You will see a lot of Dr. Megan. You'll also see a fair bit of me. I teach 4 of the classes that you'll be taking. Dr. Megan teaches 6 of them. So we do have some adjuncts from time to time, depending on the demand of courses. So you may not get us for that many, or you may. It just depends on what our enrollment is each semester. But if you have questions about, for example, professional development ideas, if you're looking for maybe an opportunity to meet with us, et cetera, I do travel a lot around Florida and beyond. Always excited to be able to meet students in person and just put names to faces, so to speak. And it really helps us when we know who we're teaching. So that's me, Dr. Megan.
Here's me. This is just a little bit. So I have primarily collegiate sport coaching experience. I have coached at the youth and high school level in terms of travel ball. And what you'll see me doing is I come from a research position and have stepped into a teaching position. So I teach 4 courses every semester, fall and spring, and then occasionally in the summer. So that's why you kind of see big bunches of me. I have a lot of playing experience with softball, and then a lot of what I do now on top of my teaching is I work as a certified mental performance consultant and have been listed previously on the USOPC mental performance sports psych registry. So I do a lot of different consulting and work in that area, in addition to mentoring those that are working on their CNPC. Sometimes for funsies, you'll see me on the SEC network, primarily the digital station, because I do go back to my alma mater and cover those games for softball. I've been doing that since 2015. So I'm also on X, whatever I still call it, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So feel free to give me a shout or a follow there if you want. Most of my content is mental performance related. So that's me in a nutshell. And then I'll let Dr. Baghurst tell you about the 2 adjuncts that we have typically.
Yep, Dr. Stephen Orris is in South Florida. He works down there full time as an associate athletic director and sports nutritionist and strength and conditioning coach. And he teaches for us primarily in coaching for sports performance. That's his real forte. So you may see him a time or 2. And then Dr. Ben Freakley is somebody you may also be seeing. He, like Dr. Megan, is CMPC certified. He works with professional teams and professional athletes in the mental performance space. And he, again, has a lot of experience. He's, yeah, really excited to have him as one of our adjuncts as well. I should mention as well, all of our faculty have coaching experience. We don't allow people in our program to teach who don't have coaching experience. And Dr. Freakley, for example, he was a collegiate coach for 10 years before he went into the private sector. So we want to make sure that the people who are teaching you have those real life experiences that you're going through as well.
Okay, so we'll get started with a little bit about what is FSU Coach? What do we embody? So primarily we have 4 areas that we try to target. I'll speak to a few of them and then I'll allow Dr. Baghurst to talk about 2 of them. Obviously, we have a master's degree in athletic coaching, which is what you are a part of. And we also run a certificate program. So those are for individuals typically that are going through getting other degrees. We see a lot from sport management, maybe master's or PhD, and they want to get an athletic coaching certificate. So we do offer that. But our focus is on the master's degree. And then we provide coach development for individuals and teams. What you'll see down here, this bottom picture was an event that we were able to get into this past spring. And this was at a local youth soccer organization, Florida Elite. They hold a huge tournament in Tallahassee in March. And so we set up tents and provided short talks to coaches and parents, people that were interested in coming, and we collaborated with our sports psychology students that were working on their CMPC for that. So that's what that is, and we do various trainings as we are called to do so. And I know Dr. Baghurst will probably talk more extensively about that because we have an opportunity coming up, and that's when I'll kick it over to you, Tim.
Yes, thank you. So one of the things we try to do with FSU Coach is provide education beyond just the academic classes that we have. We have a YouTube channel that we interview sports professionals on. That's also a podcast. We do a monthly newsletter that just went out this past week, and I hope most of you, if not all of you, got a copy of that. If you didn't, check your spam. We also do a clinic that we've done twice, and our third one will be in Pensacola. I had to check whether it was Pensacola or Panama City. Pensacola at the University of West Florida on October 19th. So we'll try to move that around the state of Florida to different areas during the year, just to provide, again, education beyond just the programming that we offer here at FSU. So we do a lot of different things. Dr. Megan also talked about these outreach activities that we do. So if you have opportunities or ideas in which we can help you, your team, your organization, let us know, because that is part of our mission, is to provide training and development that extends beyond just the academic programming that we offer.
And some of the other things I'll hit on briefly is we have several partnerships. One is with the Tallahassee Reckoning, which is a women's semi-professional league here that just launched. And so you all as students, if you're local or want to come to some of their games, you get reduced tickets, I believe. So there's that. And then we also have rights to place internship spots with them. So if you're interested in working in that capacity, Ashley Fontes or Dr. Fontes now, is fantastic, just wonderful site. Another sponsorship that we have is We Coach, and Dr. Baghurst really spearheaded that. So I'm going to let him talk a little bit about We Coach, and then there's another slide about them too, Tim.
Okay. Yeah, we We develop these partnerships not only just to promote our organization, our center, but also to support those organizations. And whenever this happens and whenever there's an opportunity for you as a student, we will make sure that you're aware of it and put it in the Canvas site where you take classes. So don't feel like you have to know all of this information now. We will provide that information. We Coach is an organization specifically for women, although they do allow men to become members as well. We get a discounted rate of $25 as to be members of this organization. And as you can see down at the bottom, they have a mentorship program that you can be involved in. The deadline for this is August 23rd, but they do them multiple times. This isn't just this is the only time that you can enroll in this program. But they did write me this morning and encourage our students to enroll in this program. So these things are available to you. We also have a scholarship where we strongly preference people who are We Coach members. And it's a pretty significant scholarship. So we work closely with We Coach. They do a lot of tremendous things around the country, and they support us and we support them. So becoming a member is a great idea because they are very, very active in coach development and coach support.
So as we're going to kind of shift into the academic side of things, and as you all get started, this is kind of where you really need to be paying attention because you have your courses that are coming up. And so if you look at this slide, what this is a snapshot of our program of study. And so what that means is that we have 10 courses that you will need to take. Now, some of these are electives, and we can chat, you and I, in terms of I'm your academic advisor, and we can chat about if you would like to consider substituting those courses and what that would look like. But let's just pretend you're following the program of study as it is. So we would like for you, as soon as possible in your study, take either theory or the philosophy of ethics, because those are prerequisite courses for your coach internship. So don't get confused. The way the courses are laid out on this slide are not necessarily the order that you need to take them in. All right. As a matter of fact, there's another website that you'll be directed to that'll show you the courses that we do offer by semester. And that's going to be important for you to follow. And we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. But anyway, you can take a look at the primary courses here. So the theory, the philosophy, we want you to get those in as soon as you can so that you can take that internship course. Typically, students are taking that internship course in their third or fourth semester with us, if not a little later, just depending. One course that I would push you to take later is your research course, unless you have extensive research training already. That is one that I would prefer you to take. There's an offering this spring. I personally think that's a little too soon for you all. There's an offering in the following spring. So it would be towards the end of your tenure with us. And a lot of times pairing that internship with the research course actually works out pretty well. But that's things that we can advise on. The other courses are going to ebb and flow in terms of workload. So something you may want to consider is, are you in season and what does that look like for you? I know particularly with our heavy season coaches, like with football, they like to take one course. And so certainly reach out to me and we can talk about what does that workload look like so that it's manageable for you at the time. But this is a snapshot of our courses. So next steps. The next steps, and again, remember, you will have access to these slides with links to all of these websites that you have here. All right, so don't panic too much about that. But there is a form I'm going to have you fill out, and that form is going to take you to some questions that I need as your academic advisor. So I need to know who you are, and then also legal names, those sorts of things, and your FSU um, address, email address. That's going to be important for us to know so that I can contact you. All of the correspondence between you and us needs to be through your FSU address. So we're going to need to know that soon. Now, another site that you are going to visit is going to be a new student orientation that is going to be set up for you. It's already there in Canvas. So if you have your FSU account already set up, you should be able to access this, but I need to know what your address is so that I can add you to this Canvas course. And I'll show you when you get into Canvas. This is actually our FSU Coach program site, and I have to invite you to that, so you'll get an invite. And then what you would do is you can click on New Student Orientation down here at the bottom, and that'll take you to these modules, and just click back on that page. And it's going to walk you through some information that is need to know. So some of it we've covered now. And then some of it is going to have you kind of get a little bit more in depth with the program of study so that we can get that started. We're going to talk about the importance of that here in a second. It's going to link you to these slides. It gives you other important documents like your admissions requirements. You do need to look at this. This is a new student checklist that you're going to want to follow. If you have not gotten one from the graduate school already, then you can take a look at this one here. I think one of the biggest issues that happens is you've accepted that you will be in our program, but you have not formally accepted that you will attend courses at Florida State, or something along those lines, and so that causes issues. So you do definitely, first off, want to make sure you confirm you are attending Florida State for the fall of 2024. You'll see a copy of our updated program handbook. And notice that in this orientation site, there are activities that you are required to do. There are 4 activities, and they're not very time consuming, but it's about getting you into our documents and processes so that we make sure that you understand what is happening, and that you can put together this information as you need. Inside this orientation is also that link that I was talking about that will take you to all of our courses that we offer from fall 24 all the way through. You can kind of just scroll through and see the semesters. That's going to be important for you so that you know you are taking courses, or you're saying that you want to take courses and they're actually being offered, and thinking about the timing. The other important piece of information is going to be this program of study. So this program of study is a document that is going to tell us and the university that you plan on taking these courses in this order. So whatever semester you are taking them has to be put on this official program of study form. And I'm going to come back to that here in a second, but that is one of the activities. The other activities have to do with getting you familiar with Canvas, because both Dr. Backhurst, myself, and the adjuncts will use Canvas to deliver all of our course information and to communicate with you a lot. So that's going to be important that you understand how to use Canvas, which is our learning management system. There's some information about APA formatting and why we use APA formatting. That is going to be a requirement for the work that you see in any of our courses. So that's going to be something that you're definitely going to want to make sure you have a good handle on. So don't miss that attestation there. And then it ends with other helpful resources linked to scholarship information, and just giving us some information about how we can keep in touch with you, and then also how you can contact us. And you can, if you don't save our addresses, if you have access to Canvas, you can find us pretty much anywhere. Okay. So in terms of your program of study, what this form is going to do, like I said, is lay out when you're going to take these courses. I'm going to play around with this a little bit more, but in the PowerPoint slides that you will get, you'll see just a couple of options that I've laid out, and just showing you how your courses may flow if you choose. So you can take some time to kind of look through that. I don't want to burden you too much, But here's the thing, this program, these pictures right here are not up to date, but the form is pretty similar. After you complete that orientation in Canvas, I will confirm that you've completed that, and then I will send you the official program of study form. And the university has a certain way that they want this form completed, which I again will relay to you and is in that training. And so we'll have to make sure that all of your information is correct up here. And then here's the thing that gets everybody is that last column, we have to put the year and then the semester that you're going to take. So I just want to point that out. Take the course, make sure those are in order. So once you fill out your program of study form, you will email that to me and I will go over it and just make sure everything makes sense. I'll look at the flow of courses that you have. I'll verify that they're offered in the semester you said you were going to take them, and then offer any suggestions just based off of what I see if I have any. And then I will submit that program of study form through an electronic signature program called DocuSign, and we'll be able to kick that through pretty quickly. So this is important because you have to have your program of study form submitted to Florida State, so to us, before by the end of your first semester, so by the end of fall. Because if you don't, you will not be allowed to register for classes in the spring. So we've got to have this on file. Once you have this on file, if something happens or you want to change up the order of your courses, that is perfectly fine. All we'll have to do is do a little revision and resubmit the document. But we've got to get this original copy in, within the next few months here, okay? So please do make sure that you complete that new student orientation and get that so that I can get you this form. Dr. Backhurst, you want to pick up on this?
Yeah, so just a few quick questions that we get a lot of. How many courses should you take? Can you do it part-time? What is too much? And the answer is it's up to you. But what Dr. Megan and I consistently find is that the students who try to do too much are the ones that don't make it. And every semester, when students start, we lose probably one student, sometimes two, who decide that they're going to be a superhero and work full-time, coach, and do 2-3 classes and end up getting overwhelmed. So we recommend the first semester be more cautious, get familiar with your expectations. Our classes are not easy. They do require a fair bit of work. And so you're better off starting small and building up than starting too big and crashing. I will also say that a lot of times, not a lot of times, sometimes students crash and burn, not because they couldn't make it, but because they didn't tell us. And we end up having to give an F to a student who we could have helped get through the class, get through that struggle that they were experiencing, but we had no idea because they didn't tell us. So this is a consistent theme. Just because we're not in a real classroom doesn't mean you shouldn't reach out to us and tell us if something is going on. We will work with you. We do want you to succeed, but we need to know that you need help. So don't be afraid to ask for help. So we don't recommend taking more than 6 hours. We've had some students do it. I'm not sure if they slept. I don't know if they learned anything. 6 hours should really be your max, unless you're required to take more than that, maybe as a graduate assistant or something. Better off starting with 3 if you're not sure you can handle 6, and then building it up in the second semester.
So you will have links to these important websites. I'll make sure that I think they're all in the orientation anyway, but obviously you have them in these slides. And then thinking about when classes start. For the fall semester, they start the 26th. As a new student, you cannot register until the 19th at 8 a.m. And so when you go into that Canvas or My FSU, not Canvas, My FSU, and you try to register for courses, it should give you a date and time for when you can register. Okay. If you are a state employee, then you cannot register and you're using that employee tuition assistance. You can't register until the Friday before classes start. So August 23rd. If this is you and you know that you're going to register for one of our classes and you would like access to the syllabus or whatever, please email us so that you can get the textbooks and go ahead and get those ordered. Okay. In terms of scholarships, there'll be more information about that in the orientation module. Dr. Baghurst typically sends out an announcement and those sorts of things for when to apply for those. So we'll make sure that those are on your radar, certainly.
Can I just say one thing real quick on
Yeah.
that, Megan?
Sure.
Don't freak out about how late it is to register for classes. We will have a spot for you. Okay. I know that it's late and other students have already registered and there's that fear that the class will be full. We will get you in. We will go overload if we have to. You will be allowed to take whatever you want to take.
Yes, you are our priority. And like I said, email us if you know this is going to affect you, or even if you can register the 19th and you want the syllabus, just email one of us. And we'll send it to you. Just make sure, like if Dr. Baghurst is teaching it, email him. You can email me for those that I'm teaching because I don't have his syllabus. And these are ways that you can get in touch with us, just so that you have that for your information. So I know it was pretty quick. We didn't want to overload you too much, but at this time, if you have any questions, feel free if you can to unmute or put them in the chat box.
Let me also add, I did put in the chat box. We do have one more class that is now being offered as an elective, which is the special topics in sports and coaching. That is in the link when Dr. Megan sends it to you to see what courses are available. So that's being offered this fall too, if you're interested. I'm not going to say it's a great class because it's going to be the first time we take it. We won't have many students in it, but it could be a lot of fun. So that is an option too.
Anybody have any questions for us at this time? You're going to hear from me for sure in the next couple of days. So just make sure you do check it'll be coming from my FSU address. I do put you all into a group so that I can email all of my advisees at the same time. So just be checking your spam mail just in case so that I can make sure that you get it. All right. Any other questions?
Typical class, Dr. Megan. Nobody wants to ask a question. They all just want to go.
I know. I get it. Don't worry. We'll have you loosened up in no time. But all right, well, I'll sign myself off and just say I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in class. And like I said, do not hesitate to reach out with pre-information just to say hello, those sorts of things. And I'm looking forward to a great semester.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Virginia, I saw your comment.
Thank you.
Send me an email. Would
Y'all
you
are good. You can go unless you have any questions.
Okay, I'll send an email.
Okay, thanks. I just need a reminder tomorrow so that I can follow up and just make sure that you're eligible, okay? All right, Megan, I think that's a wrap.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you on Tuesday for sure, or next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night. Thanks.